Imagine you're standing next to a big, beautiful lake. The water is calm and clear. The mountains around you are tall and white with snow. It is quiet and peaceful. But then you look out at the water. You see something very strange. In the middle of the lake, there is a tower. Just a tower. No building around it. No land under it. Only water. It looks like something from a dream. But this is a real place, and it has a very interesting story. This place is called Lake Rizia. It is in the north of Italy, high up in the Alps. The Alps are a large group of mountains in Europe. Lake Rizia is close to the borders of Austria and Switzerland. The water is very blue, and the views are beautiful. Many people visit this area every year, but most of them come for one reason. They want to see the tower in the lake. The tower in the water is a church tower. It is very old. Workers built it in the 1300s. That is more than 600 years ago. This tower was part of a church, and the church was part of a village. The village was called Curon. Many families lived there. They had homes, shops, and a good community. Every day, people could hear the church bells ring. Life in Curon was simple, but it was good. So what happened to the village? Why is only the tower still there? To understand this, we need to go back to the 1950s. After World War II, Italy needed more power. The country was growing. More people needed electricity for their homes and factories. So the Italian government decided to build a dam. A dam is a large wall that people build across a river to stop or control water. When a dam is built, the water behind it rises. It fills the land and makes a lake. This kind of lake is called an artificial lake. People make it. It does not happen naturally. The government chose to build the dam near Curon. They wanted to use the water there to make electricity. But there was a big problem. If the dam was built, the water would rise and cover the whole valley. It would cover the village of Curon. The people who lived there did not want this to happen. They loved their village. It was their home. Many families had lived there for many years. They asked the government to stop, but the government did not listen. The dam was built anyway. In 1950, the dam was finished. The water slowly began to rise. The people of Curon had to leave. They took their things and moved to a new village nearby. The government helped them build new homes, but leaving was very hard. They had to say goodbye to the place where they grew up. They had to leave the streets they walked every day. They had to leave their memories behind. Before the water covered everything, workers took the church bells out of the tower. Then the water kept rising. Slowly, the village went under the lake. The houses went under. The streets went under. Everything went under. Everything except the top of the church tower. The church tower was tall enough to stay above the water, so it kept standing there, alone in the middle of the new lake. Year after year, it stayed there. Nobody took it down. Nobody moved it. It just stood there quietly, coming up out of the water like a reminder of what was below. Today, the Tower of Curon is one of the most famous sights in Italy. People come from all over the world to see it. When you look at it from the side of the lake, it is beautiful. The blue water stretches out in front of you. The mountains rise up behind the tower. And in the middle of all that beauty, the old stone tower stands alone. Many people take photos there. The tower looks peaceful and almost magical. But when you know the story, you feel something else too. You feel a little sad. Because under that beautiful blue water, there is a whole village. There are old streets, there are old walls, there are the memories of real people and real families. Some people whose families came from Curon still visit the lake today. They look at the tower and think about their history. They think about their grandparents and great-grandparents. They think about the life that is now under the water. It is a very emotional thing. The tower connects them to a place they can never fully go back to. There is also something very special about winter at Lake Rizia. In winter, the temperature drops very low. The top of the lake freezes. The water becomes ice. And when this happens, something amazing is possible. Visitors can walk across the ice to the tower. They can stand right next to it and touch the old stone. In summer, the tower is far away. You can only look at it from the shore. But in winter, you can walk right up to it. People love to do this. It feels like walking into history. There's also a local legend about the tower. A legend is a story that people tell. It may not be completely true, but people love to share it. The legend says that on cold winter nights, you can hear the church bells ring. But remember, workers took the bells out before the water rose. There are no bells in the tower now, but the legend says that people still hear them sometimes, a soft sound in the cold night air. This is probably just a story, but it is a beautiful and a little bit spooky story. And it shows how much the people of this area love their lost village. The bells are gone, but the memory is still there. The story of Curon also teaches us something important. It shows us that progress can sometimes have a cost. Building the dam gave electricity to many people. That was good. But it also destroyed a village and a community. That was very sad. The people of Curon lost something they could never get back. Their home, their streets, their church. All of it went under the water. And the tower is the only part of that world you can still see today. When you look at a beautiful place, it is easy to just enjoy the view. The blue water, the mountains, the sky, everything looks perfect. But sometimes beautiful places have deep stories. Sometimes there is history under the surface. The Tower of Curon reminds us to ask questions. It reminds us to think about the people who lived in a place before us. It reminds us that every old building has a story, and that story is worth knowing. So if you ever travel to the north of Italy, try to visit Lake Rhesia. Stand by the water and look at the tower. Think about the village that is sleeping under the lake. Think about the families who had to say goodbye to their home. And if you visit in winter, walk across the ice. Stand next to the tower. Put your hand on the old stone. Feel the history under your fingers and listen carefully. Maybe, on a very quiet and cold night, you will hear something, a soft sound in the air, like a bell ringing far away.